Recently, I have been making a few videos tailored towards newer or more casual players. The biggest request I've seen on those videos is asking for ways to make money, so this will be the first of a few videos detailing good ways to do that, no matter the account type. In this video, I'll go over 4 ways to easily make passive GP in OSRS, so let's get started. If these tips help do it all, make sure to leave the video a like and subscribe to the channel. The first method to make passive GP is taking advantage of the Grand Exchange, and there's 2 ways to do this. The first way is merching. Merching, or flipping to those of you who don't know, is buying an item for one price and selling it for a higher one to make a profit. A lot of people tend to think that merching requires having an insane amount of GP, but that's actually not true. Plenty of items that are cheaper are merchable for margins of 5 to 10k per item if you do it at the right time and pay attention, and you can do this overnight, during work hours, and basically at any time when you aren't paying attention to the game, since offers on the Grand Exchange are filled automatically, even if you're logged out. Even profits of 1000 GP per item, or just a few hundred, add up really quickly when done in large quantities, especially with items that are commonly purchased. Even items like food, potions, and runes get flipped pretty regularly. Since this is all done well offline, the only input is making the buy and sell offers, which just takes a few seconds, meaning this is literally free money if you do it right. The other way to passively make money at the GE is to buy items for below their alch value, and alch them while you're more actively playing the game. You might not think that there's profit in this because tons of other players must know about it, but that's the thing. They do. A lot of these items are brought in from high-level players that are bossing and really just don't want to spend their time alching, so there's tons of items you can buy, some even in bulk, that end up making you a profit after you alch them, even when you include the cost of the nature rune. Alching can also be combined with lots of other activities for when you're more actively playing the game, and it's literally free magic XP for those of you who aren't 99. I've mentioned this before, but a really helpful tool for both of these GE tips is a website called GE Tracker. It gives accurate and up-to-date information on the prices of items, and it's free to use. There is a paid version that I use, and it has a few more features. It's like $2 a month, but it's honestly not even needed, so I'll leave a link down in the description below for those of you guys that want to try out these methods. I know there are some people who might not want to take the risk on merching. Maybe you don't want to alch things while you're online, or maybe you just don't have enough starter GP to make that work. So let's move on to some other slightly more obvious methods of passive income. Our second and third items on this list are farm runs and birdhouse runs. A lot of people, especially people who are more casual players or less familiar with the game, look at a skill like farming and view it as wildly expensive, which it can be if you're running around doing tree and fruit tree runs for the optimal experience. But there's a lot of money to be made by growing herbs and sometimes even allotments. For example, I bought this Avanto seed and Ultra Compost for a little over 1000 GP, which is what it's going to cost me per patch, a little less if you have a bottomless compost bucket. Of course, if you have a lower farming level, you'll have to opt in for other seeds, but almost all of them make money, especially if you don't fall into the trap of trying the really expensive ones like Renars or Snapdragons. The result is this, over 24,000 gold. So I made a pretty good amount of GP just from that one singular patch. And again, since these patches grow while you're offline, you can do this just before bed, every couple hours at work, or honestly just whenever. I prefer to do them right before bed so that I'm there when I wake up and I can just do another one. The more patches you use, the more money you make, which sounds fairly obvious. But there's actually 9 herb patches in the game, and some of them are even disease-free, so there's no chance of your herb dying at all. You can also use some of these special seeds from Hispori to get better yield, faster growth time on all of your plants, or just make them less likely to die. I know it might not seem like that big of a deal, but if you do a few farm runs per day, you can easily make a few 100,000 GP, maybe even upwards of a mil, for putting in less than 15 to 20 minutes of effort throughout the entire day. There's also other types of patches you can do like giant seaweed to make even more money, so doing this alone could pay for your membership with bonds. The third passive moneymaker falls in a very similar line of thinking, which is birdhouse runs. Now this is something that most Iron Men are also familiar with, but a lot of mains actually shrug it off. To those of you who don't know, on Fossil Island there are 4 locations where you can place a birdhouse to catch birds and claim their nests. It might seem kind of silly at first, but at the time of this video, birds' nests are actually worth well over 4,000 GP, and the cost of an entire birdhouse run is usually less than 5k. So even if you're just getting 2 nests, it'll give you a profit. You can buy your appropriately tiered birdhouses off of the Grand Exchange, or make them yourself if you have the crafting level. Now most runs are going to give you a hell of a lot more than just 1 or 2 nests, especially if you have higher tiers of birdhouses, and on top of this, the nests aren't always empty. They have a chance of being ring nests, seed nests, or sometimes even containing clue scrolls. Most seeds aren't worth too much these days, but you do have a chance to get things like dragon fruit tree seeds from them, which is even more extra GP in the way of a few 100,000 from just a single bird run. The best part about birdhouses in compared to doing herb runs is that these are much easier because they're all centralized on Fossil Island, and you can just use the magic mush tree to teleport between them. With a bank right there, it makes it easy to restock and do more runs if this is all you're logging in for, and it only takes 50 minutes for them to get ready and probably less than 30 to 45 seconds to empty them all and replace them. On top of all of that other good stuff, they also give you an abhorrently high amount of Hunter XP while having next to no barrier to entry, since the quests to get to Fossil Island are extremely minimal, and you can start with the easiest tier of birdhouses at just level 5, which you'll already have access to from the museum mini quest. Finally, it is time for the fourth passive moneymaker. This one is probably going to sound like the most obvious one out of all of the other things at first, but just hear me out. The best way to passively make GP and even account progress is to take advantage of RS Mobile. A lot of people aren't aware or might not think it's worth it, but RS does have a mobile app, and it is definitely worth using. It'll let you take advantage of tons of AFK training methods, like these ammonite crabs located right next to the birdhouses, or let you AFK your skills for quests and GP. That way you can enjoy the game by playing it more actively when you're available. Things like woodcutting, motherlode mine, fishing, and tons of other stuff can be done on mobile really easily. Even as someone who plays tons of RS to get these videos done, I take advantage of mobile a lot when laying in bed, cooking, or even going to the gym and working out to get things like AFK skilling and account training done. You can even make money by doing things like enchanting jewelry on your phone or cleaning herbs, since one click will now AFK clean the whole inventory or AFK enchant the whole inventory of gems. By no means does this mean you have to play 24/7 like some of us do, but if your phone's sitting right next to you while you're at work or laying in bed, you might as well take advantage of it and do something fairly AFK-able that you only have to look at and interact with every 2 to 5 minutes. That's all I got for this one, and I really hope it helped some of you guys out. I know it might be a lot to digest, and it might not seem like that much money if you're only passively making a few mil or even just a few 100,000 gold per day, but that can be insanely helpful towards buying your next piece of gear, or even just upkeeping your membership via bonds. At the current time of this video, bonds are about 6 mil, and since they last 14 days, making a 500k profit per day from doing AFK activities would be more than enough to fund your membership. I'm sure tons of you will have other AFK suggestions for money making, so leave those down below in the comments, and if I come up with enough things, I can definitely make more videos like this. As always, make sure you guys leave a like if you liked the video or if it helped you out at all, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll be making more moneymakers that involve actual active methods pretty soon, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out, and thank you so much for watching.